Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. It's Friday, so it's my PowerPoint presentation day. Let's get right into it. It's called the Three Wheels of the Dharma. First thing that is available to understand is what is a living mythology, as Joseph Campbell defines it. First, you have the mystical aspect, like the monolith in 2001. It puts you in touch with the great mystery, that which is beyond our ability to conceive, talk about, takes us out of time and space, and puts you in accord with that so you say yes, so you can joyfully participate in the sorrows of life. Then it gives you cosmology. It teaches you your Genesis story. How did everything get here? And once you understand that, then it gives you the sociological teaching. What is the thing that binds you together with your neighbor with the same symbol and sign system? And then once you have that at the collective, then you get the pedagogical teaching where the individual is given the wisdom to deal with the vicissitudes of life. Now, in the Buddhist tradition, they simply say you take refuge in the Buddha, you take refuge in the Dharma, you take refuge in the community called the Sangha. What does that mean? Well, like they say in the Gospels, the foxes have holes and the birds have their nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. So, where can you find refuge in a world that's so uncertain and insecure? Well, first in the Buddha, which means the enlightened qualities of the human mind, and then the Dharma, the teaching, which exposes what is suffering all about and how to overcome it. And then, of course, the Sangha, the people working on themselves. These three are inseparable. And so, can you follow it without the Sangha? Well, to some extent, but we need each other. We're biosocial. And so, this is why the Dalai Lama is a great example. And he's never confuted, refuted, because the Dharma doesn't suffer in comparison to any teaching. If you learn the Abhidharma, what Buddha has to share, you can discourse with anybody, whether they're believers in a theological tradition, agnostic, atheist, scoffers, it doesn't matter. You have a center place from which to share your perspective and the universal truth about that. Now, the three wheels of the Dharma also consist of what we say morality, concentration, and wisdom. So, conformity is doing what everybody else is doing, regardless of what is right, and morality is doing what is right, regardless of what other people are doing. So that's the first thing. You learn to be a better person in terms of the virtue that you have and you share with other people. Concentration, as Vivekananda says, is to give the flow to your mind until the attention becomes constant. Like Albert Einstein might give you laws for life, like his various kinds of wisdom, right? Focus on the present, perseverance is priceless, and so forth. But it's what works in the moment. And of course, he's a good example of someone who focuses the mind and penetrates through to see wisdom. Now, all of us have stories, narratives, perspectives, and just like the life of Pi, if you haven't seen that movie, tell a better story. See how your story fits into your movement towards the holy mountain. Now, my teacher used to say, I'm not a teacher, a yoga teacher, I'm not a posture teacher, I'm a yoga teacher. Just standing on your shoulders to see further than your teacher is not really what the teacher wants. The teacher wants you to see from a different angle, include, incorporate, and go beyond them. And then in terms of your own healing, yoga teaches you to cure what need not be endured, but it teaches you to endure what cannot be cured. Now, what's the idea of going further? As Rumi says, I died as a mineral, I became a plant. I died as a plant and rose an animal. I died as an animal, was a man. Why should I fear? When was I less by dying? So can we let go? Let go of our ideas of ourselves, who we are, what we're becoming, to allow that which is dynamically coming to birth, to be birthed through us. Now, I learned early on, and I never apologize for this, through my early LSD experiences, thanks to Ram Dass and Timothy Leary, how to tune in, turn on, and drop out. Turn on, tune in, and drop out. I had to step out of tradition, step out of what the Uber culture was telling me. Like a maverick, I put on the antithetical mask in order to see what was going on clearly. And then, once you see, you have your choice. They're both the same from different vantage points, like the coin is made of head and tails. So whether it's Tantra, and you swing with life, and you enter into the physical experience as a way of experience spirituality in the embodied state, or you do the renunciate thing, like Milarepa. You go and you sit by yourself and you divorce yourself from everything and everyone you know, and you empty your mind out with no idea whatsoever of what you're doing, why you're doing it, where is it going. Just total aliveness, total effortless being in the present. And then you learn that there are psychic modalities. You have to choose. The world is sick. And when you really critique medicine, politics, business, they're all manic in a certain way. And Ueshiba, who started Aikido, the art of peace is medicine for a sick world. There's evil and disorder in the world because people have forgotten that all things emanate from one source. Return to that source and leave behind all self centered thoughts, petty desires, and anger. Those who are possessed by nothing possess everything. So, there you go. Now, when you come to the sweat lodge, you're always asked, do you come on spirit, on burden, or off burden? And just answer honestly. No, it's not right or wrong. But if you're on burden, then you got to heal yourself. If you're off burden, get ready to serve. So in this moment, are you on burden or off burden? I love this Adlerian idea. I have an inferiority complex about my superiority complex. I know I'm better than you, but I really feel horrible about myself for letting you know. Behind every superiority complex is an inferiority complex. And behind every inferiority complex is a superiority complex. Figure that one out. Anyway, your soul goes through pathology, whether you have to do battle with your own forces, or you learn to find ecstasy in life through the mere sense of living. Joy is enough, says Emily Dickinson. As I've been saying all week, it's essential, not incidental. All right. So one of my teachers, I love this. Well, dear, if you must roam about the house dressed as a chicken, that's fine. But please close the drapes when you do. So one of my teachers calls it a therapy of odd ideas and eccentricities. Like Nietzsche says, don't throw out your devils. You may be throwing out some of the best aspects of yourself, the things that we don't want to admit to ourselves, that come up strange in the eyes of other people. And that's it. Work with that. Oh, here you are. Look at this. My waist was so small at this time. Be aware of your station in life. And for me, it was learning to be a good student. And instead of the psychology of introversion, I learned the psychology of extroversion, but not the materialist extroversion, not conquering the world and turning everything into yourself, but how to re enchant the world by looking at it from a different perspective. Thank you so much, Gita. And then Santosha, how do you become peaceful and content? Well, you go from discontent to where you're not, to after having given your best in a yoga class, you realize that's all a human being can do. And you leave content, even though you may have failed to do exactly what the teacher wanted during the class. Powerful lesson. Only your innermost hunger, only the one where the greatest drive you have is, that's insatiable. If you put that one out there, you'll find out how you're content. And cannot be a good follower if you're not a good leader. Can't be a good leader if you're not a good follower, right? So learn to either be out in front and lead or step into the rear, and from a step behind, serve, be humble. Either one doesn't matter. You can do both to the best of your ability. And then ultimately, I love this little sign. See the me, how to build a lasting relationship, cut along the dotted line and rotate so it becomes we. Each one of us has a period during our adult life where we hunker down, dig our heels in, and keep going for decades. But at a certain point, you have to let that go as you move to another stage in your life. So, from lasting for a long time and the psychology that you had when it took you from wherever you were to where you are now, and then the leaving is when you start to cut the ties, let go of what was, and look forward to something that's about to be. And then finally, what legacy do you want to leave? What key to yourself as you take that long road into the unknown by yourself? What do you want to pass on to the next generation? That's what I call lasting leaving left. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Go to GabrielHalpern.com. Check out what's going on. I'll be gone all next week, so you can cherry pick by just simply going to my website. The Mexico vacation is on for February 24th to March 2nd, 2024. We already got 6 signups, so please come and join if you'd like. Contact me if you'd like a free CD. I'll send it to you for sure. And then most important is live the life that you love. See you soon.